Hi, I'm Kristen, and today I'm going to give you an update on what I sometimes feel like is my embarrassing weight loss project. I'll let you know what's happened with it and what I'm planning to do next. Full disclosure, this video is going to be a lot of talking, not a lot of sewing, in fact, no sewing. So if that's not what you come to the channel for, then I'll see you next week. I'll have something more sewing-ish for you then. So today I'm going to talk about the weight loss quilt. If you don't know what this is, I'll put a link to the earlier videos up here, but essentially the idea was to make a habit tracker in quilt form. So each one of these quilt blocks so the circles are how much exercise I did in a day, and the color is whether or not I ate healthy. So orange is not healthy and white-ish is a healthy day. And then the pinks were at the end of the week, whether or not I lost weight. So if I lost weight, there was a full solid pink square. Right. Okay. So I started this November last year. I don't remember if it was the beginning or the end of November. So it's been about a year. And it was meant to be the 6-month project. And it was going really well. Okay. When I got to the 6-month point, I had lost 30 pounds. And I didn't quite have maybe it was just before the 6 months. That's why. So I didn't have the full amount of blocks I thought I was going to do for this 6-month quilt. And I got a bit derailed. I made excuses at the time, like it was the news, it was stuff going on in the world, but like it is an excuse. Like that can get you down and have you not motivated for a little while, but it's not really an excuse for me to have not been motivated from like March until November. So anyway, but I didn't ever quite manage to pick myself back up from that. So I kept trying. I kept going back to try and do the things that were working before, and they didn't work. I couldn't get myself motivated. I didn't want to go on the treadmill anymore. It's back here under the long arm. It's just taunting me, which is what I had been doing. So I'd been doing like the treadmill most days, and then doing Weight Watchers. Basically, that's how I lost the initial 30 pounds. And so I kept trying to go back and like, oh, I'm going to track my points today, or I'm going to go back on the treadmill. But the motivation was just gone, even with the accountability of the YouTube channel and all that stuff. So I've been feeling down on myself. I've been feeling guilty about the people following along and all that kind of stuff. And I've now gained 9 pounds back of that 30 pounds that I lost. Ugh, so heartbreaking, right? So it's going in the wrong direction and I need to do something about it. And I've actually been seeing, so this is where I get into a lot of talking and a little bit too much information. But anyway, recently started seeing a therapist online to try and deal with some sort of grief issues that I've had for probably years, to be honest. And the point of that is not to help me lose weight, but in the course of one of the discussions, I said something offhand like, I don't know why I always self-sabotage myself or something like this. And she's like, hang on, what do you mean by that? Give me an example. And so I gave this example of the weight loss quilt. And so I was explaining to her it was meant to be this 6-month thing and it was going really well. And then I said I was going to do it for longer because I knew I had more weight to lose. And the things that were working aren't working anymore. And I don't understand why. I know that I need to exercise. I know that if I exercise, I eat better. That's like my psychology. I know that. So why can't I just do it? Which I think we probably all asked ourselves. But anyway, so she says to me, she goes, well, here's your first problem. You signed up to something far too long. So she's done some personality tests on me. Those things like answer yes or no, ABC, whatever. Anyway, loads of them, to be honest. But one of them came back sort of telling her that I'm very good at focusing on things for a short time, kind of like really obsessively. But then I move on, I get bored. So like I wouldn't be the person to like do, I don't know, like a 5-year project to get a rocket to Mars or something. I'm not gonna be able to stick with anything that long, right? So for example, so like I did the collage quilt a couple of weeks ago. You might have seen the video, and I really loved it. But am I going to do only collage quilts from now on? No, I would be bored. I need to do something else. I might come back to that later, like that. So she was basically saying, one, you committed to something too long, and to like saying that you have to do the treadmill and the same things over and over again, you're not going to stick with that. You're going to get bored, just you as a person. And I think that's probably a lot of people. I don't think that's just me, but anyway. And that made sense because that is what I'm like, especially with sewing and quilting. And like if I'm not in the mood to do, a farmer's wife quilt block, then I'll do a crumb block or something else. But when I am really focused on something, like you probably maybe have heard me say one week, I've started this project, and then the next week it's done because I'm like obsessed and I'm into finishing that. But if it went too long, I probably wouldn't be anymore. So anyway, and like when I lost weight for my wedding, I was swimming. I wasn't on the treadmill. When I lost weight in my teens, I was a lot of walking, and I would like pick like a destination and say I'm going to go there. And yeah, anyway, just done lots of different things. And so it made sense to me when she said like you can't expect to keep doing the same thing all the time. And there'll be plenty of you who are like, yeah, of course, Kristen, like I do a different exercise every week to keep myself, engaged. But for some reason, my brain didn't quite get that on its own. I kind of thought, well, that was working, so I had to keep doing the same thing. Got to do the same thing. So, but I'm trying to combine some of the suggestions she had for me about making things a bit more short term. The reason that might work for me is because if I do something short term and I get a win, like finishing a quilt or something like that, then I'm more energized and feeling more positive about doing the next thing. So if I had, for example, stopped the quilt tracking exercise, when I lost the 30 pounds, quilted it all up and been like, here, then I would have had this win and I would have felt better from that. And then I might have moved on to do something else that would like cement those habits and whatever, instead of feeling bad about it, which doesn't motivate anybody, right? I think we all probably know that. But anyway, so the idea now is I'm going to, because I also have this thing, I really like to finish things. So I want this gone. Like I don't want this hanging over my head that I'm working on this quilt. So I want it done by the end of the year, essentially. So what I'm going to do is track for November. So it's the 31st of October today. Well, I'll start today. So 31st of October to the 30th of November, I'm going to track, do my best to do the healthy eating and the exercise. I probably won't lose the 9 pounds I've gained back. I'll probably end up less than 30-pound loss overall. But anyway, I should be back into the swing of that. Hopefully that's the idea. And I'm going to finish the quilt. So right now I've got this done. And this is my weight loss quilt box. And I've got my tracking sheet from before, which is a great big mess and depresses me. So that's gone because it's already been turned into blocks anyway. I've got 4 more rows from when I was tracking before that are all, circles are all appliqued on and everything, but they're just not joined into rows. So they have to be added. And then this is my new sheet. And I've put the line where the 30th of November will be. And yeah, that doesn't make a full row. So what? I'll do some other strip of color, or I'll stick the last 3 blocks on the back or whatever. But this looks more manageable to me. This doesn't. So, it's an exercise in knowing myself and what I can handle. So that's what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to do my November track. At the very least, I'm going to track. If I don't exercise, fine, whatever. I'm just going to track, and I'll have a whole orange bottom of the quilt. But I did already exercise this morning, so I'm hoping I'll have at least a few circles on there. And then I'm going to try and get it all ideally quilted and finished by New Year's, so I can be like, yay, I finished that. But Kristen, you're saying you can't lose weight in a short burst of time and not expect to gain it all back. You have to make small lifestyle changes and, get this new lifestyle, healthy lifestyle. That's the only way that works. I know, but that's boring. So I don't want to do it, which is the point of what this woman the therapist was telling me, basically. So, I know I can't just do a short thing and then leave it. So the idea is that I would do lots of different short things, and that becomes a new lifestyle thing. So, I do this, the new exercise routine I'm planning for November in November, but I'm not going to do the same thing in December. So in December, maybe I go for long walks in the park. And then in January, maybe I sign up to something that everyone's promoting something in January for losing weight. Maybe I sign up to some 4-week total tone, who knows, whatever, right? And I do that. And then I go, okay, what's next? That was the idea, that I should treat it almost like, what's the next quilt project? What's the next exercise challenge? What's the next thing I'm going to try? So that I don't get bored and it becomes more exciting and more entertaining. So I could try a new hobby that's physical, or join one of these short things. I'm not going to join anything long. I've learned my lesson. I could even do this again for a month, make a wall hanging or something, table runner, but not say I'm going to do it for this long amount of time and then get myself bored and stressed and guilty and all of that. So that's the idea there. So my plan for November, I've actually signed up, bought 2 different, still got the Weight Watchers app. I've been paying for it this whole time. So I'll try and start the tracking. I may or may not do that. But I bought 2 online kind of exercise things just for variety. Like, I have enough exercise stuff in the house, and I probably already have exercise DVDs, but I just needed something new. That was the idea. So I got one that's like a less than 5-minute strength training thing, and then one that's like Zumba dance exercise, because believe it or not, in my 20s, I didn't look like this, and I used to go salsa dancing 6 nights a week. I was obsessed. I was probably about as obsessed with salsa dancing as I now am with quilting. Anyway, so I'm going to try and get some of the, positive vibes back from the music and all that kind of stuff, and see if that'll get me feeling less like I don't want to exercise, because that's definitely the key for me. I just have to do it and get it done. So that's my plan. If you have been following along and you were disappointed that I've not been updating you, I'm really sorry. I guess when I created this whole thing, I didn't understand enough about myself and my own psychology to know whether or not this was something that was going to work for me. I still love the idea, and I really loved it when it was new, and when I was doing it for the first. I probably loved it for the first 4 months, I'm going to say. And after that, I was like, meh. So, you know yourself, whether or not you could stick with it longer, whether you want to try something shorter. So Becca has been doing a better health quilt, which is a similar idea over the whole year, but she's doing a block a week. For a lot of people, that's more manageable. So if you like this idea, but you don't want to get into the same trap I'm in, maybe check out some of her videos. I'll link below. Anyway, for anyone who's been waiting for an update, I'm sorry it's been so long, and I will come back sometime in December and let you know how November went, and hopefully show you a finished or semi-finished quilt. That's the plan. So if you like videos like this, please don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought. Okay, thanks so much for spending time with me, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.